everybody, hey guys, doing through today? Welcome back to another episode of Halloween at the Manor. This is actually going to be the haunt update video number 2. And a couple of quick things here. Right behind me here, I did ended up getting all of the frames done for our walkthrough. So I have 23 7-foot by 4-foot frames. So these are going to be the walls of the walkthrough. I also have a couple of smaller frames here. This is going to be for inside the haunt. Another thing that I was mentioning was during the first video is the face and the exit of our walkthrough is going to be the mausoleum that I built 2 years ago. Well, the thing is when I built that mausoleum facade, that's only 6 feet tall. So I actually have to raise that up a foot. So I haven't worked on that yet, but these two walls here, this is actually our Wacky Shack from last year on our Carnival haunt. These walls as well were only 6 feet by 4 feet. So what I had to do is I had to increase these by a foot as well. So you can see down here, this is where I actually added on a foot to the walls. So what I did was I ended up painting the walls gray, and very similar to what I was doing in my tombstones. Painted the walls gray, then just kind of used a sponge and sponged on some white to give it that stone look, and I think it came out really nice. I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to match up with the paint job on the mausoleum. It should be pretty close. So one of the things that I really like here is on the 2 windows of the Wacky Shack. If you remember last year, they actually had PVC bars running through them to kind of look like you know, like a prison or a cage. Well, I took the PVC out and I was trying to go for kind of like a catacomb vibe here. So what I ended up doing is in the cutout, you can see over here, I put a piece of thin plywood on the back of this. I just screwed it into the back of this. And what I ended up doing was I made 5 milk jug skulls. So these are made of milk jugs. And if you're interested in how I did that, I do have a video up on the channel. And then what I did is once I had the milk jug skulls done, I put them in here and I put in some Loctite spray foam here. This stuff here, some of this Loctite foam. I sprayed that in here and basically let it dry, and now it's like plaster. So it looks really cool. I'm really happy with the way this came out. I ended up putting some wood around here to make it look like bricks, and what's cool is that the color of these bricks is going to match the exact same thing that's on the mausoleum facade. I used the same color scheme for the doorway of that mausoleum facade, so that's going to be really cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually getting ready to make 5 more milk jug skulls, and I'm going to put that in here. I think I have to go get another can of Loctite foam, and I'm going to do the same thing I did over here to this window right here. So hopefully by the end of today, maybe tomorrow, we'll have this done. So another thing I did for these walls here, I built this little shelf out of wood here, and basically it has 3 different sizes of wood. It's got the top here is a 3/4 inch plywood. The second piece here, the second layer, is a 2x4, and the bottom layer is a 2x2. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a shelf for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this little shelf in here, and I haven't bolted it in yet or screwed it in yet, so we're going to screw that in eventually. And then what we'll do is Halloween night, or whenever we have this out in the yard, we'll put candles on it, and hopefully that will illuminate the skull's faces and make it look really creepy. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one as well, once I get all the skulls in the window here and everything finished.
Alright guys, if you're interested in how I created the catacomb-like window, I'll show you how I did it here. If not, you can just fast forward to the walkthrough setup. So I needed to make 5 milk jug skulls to add to that open window. I have a very thorough video on how to make milk jug skulls on the channel. I will link it in the description below. Once I made the 5 skulls, I sprayed a base layer of Loctite foam in the open window, then positioned my skulls where I wanted them to be. I then went back over the area with more foam, filling in all of the holes and crevices. Now, as you're laying down the foam, it's best to immediately spray the area with water. Doing this speeds up the drying process. Once you have the foam laid down, you will need to wait about 10 to 15 minutes until the foam gets non-sticky. I would suggest wearing gloves just in case. When the foam is no longer sticky, you can start to manipulate the shape. I'm basically just pushing it down so the skulls are more prominent. Next, after the foam dried, I spray painted the entire window area black. After the spray paint dried, I then dry brushed on a light gray paint, and I finished this all off sponging on some white paint, primarily to make the skulls really stand out. Now, you can play around with the color scheme as much as you want until you get it to exactly how you want it to look.
All right, guys, so we decided to, since we're both off today, set up the walkthrough in our backyard. And we're not going to set it up like the whole thing, but this is going to be, the mausoleum will be here, and this is going to be the two sides. So we're going to start setting this up. We have one side of the wall set up. It's 7 4-foot panels. We got all the panels out here. So we're going to set this up and show you guys what it looks like. All right, guys, so we had the walkthrough set up. We did the best we could. We learned some things. So when we set it up in the front yard, if we decide to set it up in the front yard now and not just leave it up, we have some ideas on how to make it a little bit better. But anyway, this is how it's going to go. So the kids are going to walk through here, and then we're going to have this aisle here. Not sure what we're going to do here, but we're definitely going to have something in this little alcove area here. So something spooky in here. And then they'll come down here, and then they'll go down this row. We're thinking about putting like maybe some smaller walls in here, like maybe 2-footers, where they kind of have to like go in and out. So they'll come down here. Definitely have something creepy over here in the corner somewhere. And then the last row, you're going the wrong way, will be this row here. And not sure what we're going to do here, but then what will happen is, now we don't have the entrance set up, the mausoleum entrance, but they'll come around here. We're thinking about maybe having somebody here, maybe me here, and then this will be the mausoleum, and they'll come out the mausoleum and go, again, this is the back of it, and they'll go out into the sidewalk. But this is the what the front looks like. So I think I showed you guys how I did this the other day. So next thing I have to do is I have to figure out how to get the mausoleum raised a foot so that it's the same level as this. But that's kind of what we're thinking about for our walkthrough.